Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome! So here we are again with the next turn of what do we call this now? Sorry, I'm in a couple of play-by emails now. Right, okay, so the X by Y play-by email game. So this should be rather interesting. I do need to actually ask them if I could actually get somehow a view of the actual turn unfolding. That'd be quite nice. Okay, so I do have a little prior information. I've not really seen it in detail. I knew that they'd advanced in here, but we don't really have much else in terms of information. We can have, well, we can see that we have, what is it, the Liebenstadt Adolf Hitler SS Division over here. I do believe I pronounced that correctly. Probably not, knowing me, probably not pronounced correctly, as per usual. I'm just going to bring up the old handy-dandy pen. Yeah, so the fact that we do have their breakthrough over here. We did somewhat fortify this area to a degree, but not too not too heavily. We didn't have too many troops, really. We have been focusing on trying to defend Vienna over here, but obviously digging in on the other side of the river. We do still have some divisions here. We do still have a armoured, motorised, cavalry, you guessed it, cavalry divisions here. So Lorenzo, how you doing, my man? Oh, whoops. Did not actually mean to move that unit. Okay, I was going to quickly reload that, because I didn't actually mean to move that unit. Nice. Right, 2 seconds, so we'll just reload the scenario. Was a mistake. So, yeah, it is rather an interesting situation. We do need to... I mean, the ideal situation would be to try and limit them here. It's like we don't have much in the way of knowledge about this area right now, but if we can actually try to limit this, or even cut it off, but even then that'd probably be too, I'd say that'd be far too optimistic, really. Hello there, Noaz, how you doing, my man? It's been a long time since I've seen you, hasn't it? Okay. In terms of what's probably realistic is a general fall back to either the river over this way, which could be done. Possibly these rivers here, then along the Dnieper. But even then, I mean, we don't have the troops to actually occupy all of the river here. So we do have to try and have somewhat of a forward defense. We do still have a couple towns under our control, which is quite nice. We do have a city over here as well. This is just a city, so it's not like anything like a heavy urban, but it's still an urban centre. Unfortunately, it is still in clear terrain around it, so, well, then again, we do have the river here to our back, so that's not too bad. Right. We could attempt to hold the city here, but we'll leave our troops there. We'll leave something of a garrison, potentially. Though it might be just a waste of time. What do we actually have in the city over here? There's actually nothing here, so it's not even worth doing. Yeah, I'd say it's not worth trying to hold that. It does have a port, though, doesn't it? Does it have a port? It doesn't actually have a port. Let's just double check. No, no port there. So it would not actually be worth holding on. We do have some fantastic defensive terrain over here in the form of the swamps. That does make for some very good positions here. It might be worth to try and hold a Kherson on the other side of the river. Beleslav as well, potentially, but even Beleslav isn't too great. But these positions, such as Kakova, Bolshaya, yeah, I can't. Lepitica? I don't know how you pronounce these. Bloody Slavs. Chisura Yapatinsk? I don't know, I'm just going to try and say it Russian, hope it sounds right. But yeah, these positions here are absolutely fantastic. At least it actually gives us the good terrain here, and also gives us the actual urban centre to defend there as well, which is quite nice. Okay. We do have a city, we also have a city here. It's an absolute shame that it's not here in this central position, as we do have a town here, but the city is still something quite defensible. It does have its back to the river, it's just a shame that obviously the area in front is not exactly a dream. Though we do still have some rough terrain over here, so at least that's something that we can actually try and dig in. Right. Okay. So examining the rest of the line here, we can see, of course, a cavalry division. We can see this is the 1st Cavalry Division. We can see here the 299th, 97th, and the 9th. A lot of 9s there. Right, 29th Motorized Division is actually whole. We do have 13th Panzer and 10th Motorized, 16th Motorized. So, what's that, like 4 Motorized divisions there, obviously including the SS division. We do have a Armoured, so Panzer division. These units over here, I'm not entirely sure whether they are full Panzer divisions or whether they're like detachments. Okay. So, the defences at Dessa aren't terribly strong. I doubt he'd be able to take it quite yet unless he really does throw a lot into that, but at the end of the day it's not particularly worth his time, is it really, to waste time like that? Waste men like that. Seems to go the air landing division over here. Okay. Yeah, then the infantry in the north. I mean, the main thing here that we have to worry about is just trying to obviously deal with the infantry. The panzers are going to make things hard, because the panzers are going to break through, they're going to obviously break down our defensive lines. We need to try and do our best to actually hold the panzers and the motorized back, basically hold the panzer groups back as much as possible, and try and delay as long as possible. I mean, ideally, 2, 3, 4 turns would be amazing. Really try to dig in across the river. We are doing fairly well in terms of actually keeping Army Group South delayed, which is very nice. It does give us a bit of breathing room. I do find this move in the centre rather intriguing, though. I mean, I'm not entirely like, okay. As in, I don't quite entirely understand the reason behind this. I get that they want to actually cut these forces off and connect this, but it's like, well, it's not exactly the best terrain to have all these units in. Could they not be used better elsewhere? Yeah, the Germans over here, the German team is really pushing hard on the land bridge over here. Now, will Smolensk fall? I'm not entirely certain at this point, but it will. It's looking dangerous. We've had a pullback from the city over here, but it's certainly looking quite dangerous. What do we have here in terms of fortifications? Yeah, so level 1 fortifications. It seems that the fortifications over here, for the most part, have been lost. Better fortifications here, level 2, level 1. But yeah, these level 1s aren't exactly amazing. Has Pskov fallen? Right, so Pskov still stands, but it will fall eventually, and with it 2... Right, 4 rifle divisions. Sorry, no more. Yeah, some very good rifle divisions in there at that. Now, Army Group North obviously does want to capitalise on this gain over here. Their grip is probably fairly short, considering that we do have the presence of panzers, of the actual panzer group here to aid the infantry. Though we'll see, it depends really on how much he wants to do here. Pskov itself, supply is not exactly great, is it? Only 1,000 tons. And this position here is, I mean, it's decent considering that we have a swamp here, so at least then that will allow these infantry divisions to last and bite a little bit harder. But without supply, they'll eventually give in anyway. Okay, forward defense here by the 16th Rifle Division. We do obviously have some forces on the Narva. Yeah, it's looking like a tough situation. I mean, of all the fronts, I do think we have, obviously, the easiest. We've had a lot of men diverted, but we have started to receive reinforcements as well, so we are gaining men here. Which is quite nice, but I think it's a difficult situation over here. I mean, the aim of the team is to hold Smolensk, but, yeah, it's looking a bit sketchy. So I think what we'll do here, then, is let's take a look. Let's see what we can do here. I do have this fortified position. Well, it's not fortified yet. It could be, but... So we do have rough here. We have a town on the rough terrain with its back facing the river. The thing is, I could have the Mountaineering Division occupy that position, but considering the fact that we have this to deal with, it's probably better just to actually pull the Airborne Brigade across the river to the actual fortifications over here, enable them to be dug in even further. I mean, I'm quite worried about these Airborne Brigades over here. They're not in huge numbers. I'm actually considering taking this position here. They would only be able to attack from this position These other positions over here, the other angles of attack, would be across the river. So I'm actually going to move one of my divisions here. I'm going to move the 141st Division over here. Considering that we do have some fortifications, I think it would be worthwhile to actually keep hold of them. So we do have a light woods there. We do have swamp over here, which is fantastic. I think Kiev does have a fairly good chance of holding. It's a shame about the 20th Tank Division that it's unready. Yeah, it's really quite poor. Very, very poor. Would probably be worth our time to actually take potentially the Airborne Brigade over here, the 1st Airborne Brigade, and have them shipped over here. The 20th is just not in any sort of ready state, is it? I mean, the 45th Tank Division's not in a ready state either. So, in all honesty, these divisions contribute very little here to this defense. Kiev itself actually does have over 100 defensive value there with the fortifications, and of course this city, yeah, light urban. But these armoured divisions aren't doing exactly a lot. And we do have the 13th Division, which is obviously a capable tank division, still has some meat to it. Though when it comes to urban, we're better off leaving the tanks out of there. We may want to use them somewhere over this way, and potentially further down here to the south actually. But infantry definitely needs to be in the urban net centres. Okay, we do have 6 armies still over here. What we'll do is actually move 6 army over here then to the rail lines. Okay. What I'm going to do then is we'll fall back in this position here with the 1st Airborne Brigade. So reinforce our point here, surrender the town, it'll be gone anyway. We do have the 26th Army. Okay, move them across. The armor over here, so we have the 55th, we have the 50th. Still usable, we have the 219th. Now it seems that we have Romanian divisions over here. Okay. Now, what intrigues me is the fact that we do obviously have quite a good bit of mobility, even for the division over here. But considering that it can only move so far, definitely does indicate to me that there are additional forces here that we're not seeing. I'm going to use some of the reconnaissance elements that we do have here just to try and garner some additional information. So we'll do a run here. Actually, yeah, actually, no, I'll leave this. Seems a bit of a waste for strategic reconnaissance just to have something so close. Right, we do have the city on the other side of the river. It's not actually, no, it is assigned to a corps. Okay. See, I do have a town here in Rough, which is quite nice. Right, we'll surrender the town. Where? Right, okay. Where's your corner? Oh, you're attached to Southern Front, okay. Hello there, Artem. How you doing, my friend? Right, we'll have you attached to a nearby command. It's the 26th Army, for the moment. I'll have you occupy this position here. Okay. Yeah, these cavalry divisions are unready. And routers will move them to the rear. I do have a 275th, which is actually a fairly good division. And your core headquarters, yeah, is all the way down here. Along with the rest. These two divisions here are routed. We absolutely need to get them back in action. Righto. Right, what we'll do then... You should get hip on Belmont. Is that a game? Is that like music? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna move the 264th over here. I mean, we do have this position here, which is being fortified, but we do need to make sure that we have a solid front here just to prevent any easy breakthroughs. Especially here. That does make it difficult. Is that an eggplant? Okay. That's pretty legit. I like that. Right. Oh, it's a band, okay. Okay, we do have further reinforcements from Stavka. See, some defense in depth would be nice here. The SS motorized division is going to punch through there. I don't think without much issue. Well, I think without much issue. So we are going to reinforce our position. I do need to find a way to make this work. We do have reinforcements. I do have a rifle division here. That is pretty credible. Move that up over here. Okay, we need to consolidate this core. I mean, these cavalry divisions aren't going to do terribly much. So reinforce this way. Clear. Okay, what we're going to do here. I'm going to abandon this rough terrain for now. It's a shame. I would have wanted to have kept it, but it's not really viable. So what we'll do is move the 2 cavalry divisions here. I'm going to move this division up here for the time being. The 102nd is going to move here. I'll have you given an actual course, so the 67th is what we're looking for. Okay, have you assigned? Obviously that will make them a little bit tougher. Okay, we do have something a little bit more workable now. I do still want to hold on to the city. See, over here I could reinforce the city. Which I'm going to do, actually. I think of all places, yeah, it would be better to hold here than fall back. If I could find something just to fill this in for the time being, just obviously to make sure that work is still being carried out, that'd be great. So for example, these tank divisions that are unworkable anyway might be worth taking out. Yeah, what's up there, buddy? The result of last turn is the Axis forces over here did punch through. So, we do have this to deal with, a armoured exploitation. It's getting rather interesting. I mean, they are pushing through the land bridge over here towards Smolensk. Pskov has been surrounded, multiple troops have been surrounded, so it's looking pretty dicey on certain fronts. I say we probably have it easiest right now, which is quite nice. Very nice to think about. Yeah, I'm thinking what we'll do here is then just fall back to the Dnepr, fall back to these rivers here. It'll be difficult because, well, distance. See, if I tried to defend this city with a light amount of force, obviously it will be cut off and those forces will be lost. We're better off just falling back. Especially here. And I'd love to go for the counter-offensive, but we simply don't have the means. Okay. What we will do then is, considering these forces can't really move, we'll have them sent back to the city here. I could do with them being refitted. I do need them ready. Okay, what I'm going to do then is, we are going to take out this unready tank division from the defences. Okay, so the defences there are still considered... See, this position here is just a tank division and an AT brigade. If I take the tank division out of here, yeah. What I'm going to do then is going to take the mountain division off the train. We'll have them shifted here. So at least we have level 2 fortifications. We do have the AT brigade as well as the mountain troops. So at least that is something. I could beef it up with some additional forces. But, yeah. I mean, this is a weak point right now. But what I am going to do then, I consider that we do have these tank divisions now that are somewhat more mobile, is I'm going to put, let's see, 66, 66, 106. Okay, this division's going to go here, reinforce that weak point. This tank division is going to take up position here with the armored, sorry, with the airborne. Refit. Refit. Absolutely need them to be made combat effective. Okay. See what I'm thinking here. What's the best solution? Do we fall back? Let me get a better colour here. Something a little bit more visible would be good. Okay, so do we fall back from the city to Kherson? And then potentially have... I don't know, it might even be worth going like so. Using the river, using this river. It's a shame about this area here, which is a weakness. But we'd have the city here. We'd have the swamps to our rear, obviously the river over here, which would be very nice. But at least we'd have a somewhat stable-ish line. And I might fall back. Yeah, let's see. So what we'll do then is have the line start here, run along here, possibly like that. But I don't know if we have the troops for that. We'll see. Try to do our best. And there's a reasonable suggestion, well, there's a reasonable idea of obviously staying with some units here in the front, but they'd be annihilated without real any issue. Righto. What I will do, though, in this position here is I'm going to leave the airborne brigade in this forward position in the swamp. The same for the cavalry here. These NKVD are just useless right now. Okay, do have some armor. Yeah, consider the amount of armor they have. Yeah, I know, it's difficult. We do have some reinforcements that we can bring in, like, especially over here, which is nice. It's just going to be difficult because we don't really have a huge amount. Okay, what we'll do now then... move the airborne down here. Okay, so we do have... I mean, this position here is a little bit... Is it really necessary? Because I could have, like, both of them there. I'll go for that instead. At least then that will make them more effective. As at least they'll have some additional numbers. Rather than being spread out here where they could obviously be defeated. If they're pushed back, we'll fall back to a swamp. Move the headquarters shortly. Right, move these forces here. Okay, now do I keep moving along the river? But that is going to mean the line is longer and not as consolidated. It's difficult because I don't have huge amounts of forces. So I might want to actually stagger this line, considering that he's not moving here in great numbers, so that's probably a better idea. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Okay, so I'll leave these units here just to hold the south. Or do I? No. Move you there for the now. For now, sorry. Actually, leave you in that position. Okay, what we'll do... I know these units are... Well, they can't even move anyway. So, never mind, we'll make that decision. What I'll do is I'll move the 44th further forward. Yeah, I need to just really lighten the load here and just extend it this way. I do need a somewhat solid line here if I can manage that. It's not going to be great. What I'll do actually... Okay. Right, we do have these reinforcements. We do have a couple of them here and there. So we can try and make this up. We've got to form something here. Then what we'll do as we get to this town, we'll go like this. I think that's obviously... I think that's going to be the best we can really manage. Okay, thankfully these forces... Right, actually, no, they're not on the line here, which is a shame. The 1077th Anti-Air Squadron was manned by teenage girls, and for 2 days held off a German attack on Stalingrad. Well... Give somebody a weapon and a reason to fight, and you'd be surprised. I mean, this is by no means perfect, but at the end of the day, it does mean that we have a solid line here, which is going to slow them down. Not by terribly much, but just something in the absolute slightest. Unless they're actually surrounded and annihilated, they will come back. We can make them, obviously, survive another day. Okay, probably better just to reinforce this area here. I'm half tempted to actually leave them... Or it might even be... See, the issue is we don't have any, well, positions here. Well, we do have a town here. But that is held by Germans, okay. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, no, that town could be taken then. They probably just don't quite have... Well, actually, we could do it here. What we'll do then is we'll have a forward position. I can actually fill that part of the line in there. At least with that. I mean, I could have held this city here, but that city is just undefensible. Indefensible, sorry. Yeah, if we hold this position here, which obviously will fall like in moments, but at least by occupying it does mean that they will have to go through that zone of control. Okay, I do have additional cavalry here. We'll obviously take up positions on the other side of the river. I think I'd like to actually reinforce this area here. Especially this sort of bridge. I'll move that motorized division soon. Is this the core? That would be the core. I do have a infantry division there. Cool. Yeah, Distant Worlds Universe is absolutely amazing. I think I'll do a series on that in the future. I really do like that game. It's an absolute shame but it doesn't have a multiplayer, but ideally one day it will. But it's such a good game. Okay, we do have that rough terrain, which really does help us out significantly. I'm not going to triple stack because I do want my forces to be able to retreat on top of these units, ideally. I'll take a position here. We'll go grab another core command. It'd be ideal if we had some decent ones, but we don't really have many of those. I could have them assigned to an army command, if needs be. These forces aren't yet released. Air commands, okay. Ideally. Okay, further cavalry. We'll have to have them assigned to like an army command. Oh, they're unready. Though they might be unready, it does help to make up some additional numbers in places. If anything, it might make them somewhat... it might appear a less desirable location to hit. Right, we'll have them attached to the 29th Army. Thankfully, that's free. I don't imagine the commander's any particularly good. Alright, you're overburdened. I really have very little here. I really do feel like... Well, then again, I don't want to go overboard. That's probably enough. Considering it's not very likely to hold anyway. Okay, we do have some additional forces here. It's the infantry that we really want. Okay, so now that we do have a practically continuous line, what we want to do then is actually occupy these positions, these forward positions, if we can do. Obviously reinforce this area. Yeah, I mean, obviously they'll just punch through here. Priority is the Dnieper though. That is the absolute priority. Let's take a quick look at the orders I was given. Okay, defend the Dnieper. You can use all the new arrivals in your area to bolster the defenses. Try to form a continuous line between Kiev and Dnipro. Okay, so basically the city here, I'm going to say. Aye. Oh well, actually managed to make everybody happy there. That's not something that usually happens. Okay. So we have 5 infantry divisions there. Couple actually over here. Though this is where, yeah, these are my divisions. Unfortunately. We do have a couple divisions down here for south, thankfully. That security division can't move. But these divisions will definitely help. They can definitely help to hold the south. That's really good news. I am using a lot of rail capacity here, but I do need to move these troops. Right, what I'll do here... Have you hold that position. Have the armor shift up over here. Okay. So what we've done there, the reason why we moved the armor division, is I've moved it here so it can actually occupy a town, which then allows the cavalry division here, which is actually worth some salt, to occupy this position here. So if you imagine zone of control is like out in all these directions, then obviously these directions here, it will make it harder for the Germans, because you consider here, then obviously there. If I could try and get a position here, I'd like to do that just to make it, well then again, it's not really worth it here due to the fact they're already here. We do have some potential other positions to occupy, like here, those would be nice. But the river line is worth more. Okay. We'll reinforce this area. Though, I probably do need to reinforce here. It really does depend on what he's going to do. It looks as though he's like trying to push here to then sweep up. I mean, he's going to be a little bit disappointed considering the fact that we had previously... To be honest, I'd like to reinforce this area as well. I do worry about it. I mean, obviously there's more vital areas. Right, what we're going to do here then... We're going to prevent, even if he does break through, if we start to reinforce this area here, then he can't really capitalize on it. Not like how I want to. Okay, move you here. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. I need another core. Right, that's better, the 48th. Right, now you're going to the 29th, okay. Now the 48th. It's really not the best laid out situation in terms of, like, command and control. I would need to know, but the thing is I can only use so many admin points. Another division there. Right. Okay. I need to reinforce this line, considering this is going to be the one that is going to be under threat. It's going to be the one under pressure. Just like where to send these reinforcements. One definitely here. In fact, maybe two here, considering its weakness. I mean, another thing to consider here is obviously the Axis forces are going to... I'd imagine they're going to want to come around here and envelop. That does seem to be what they're looking at doing, which is why I'd like to somewhat reinforce this area here. I don't think it would be necessary, but it might be worth considering. But what we're trying to do here then is try and prevent them from just having a shallow. I do want to actually try to force them. Yeah, I want to force them to come deeper in here. These positions are quite weak. Though considering the infantry is going to be hitting this area, would be worth reinforcing there. So there, Harkon, how you doing, my man? Well, we're trying to deal here with this breakthrough. We've managed to fall back from about here and establish something of a rough defensive line. It's very weak. I mean, if the Panzers do decide to hit here, then yeah, there's no stopping that. But the thing to remember is there's nothing of value here. If they push us down to Crimea, then sure, whatever, doesn't particularly matter. I want to avoid them heading up this direction. That's a terrible arrow. Pretend it was a good arrow. God, it's getting worse. It's like a freakish mushroom. That's what she said. Okay. So, it's a bit of a rock and a hard place. I am choosing to actually further fortify this line here of the Dnieper. I could add some additional forces here, but we'll do that once our men are forced back, considering we will not be able to fortify in time. But I can actually put in some additional fortifications here. In this point, he's especially weak, considering no fortification, and he will know that. And we've not done too bad. We did really hold him up for a long time. It looks like the rest have gone now. So yeah, we do have this encirclement here. In the centre, things are rather interesting. Pushing there on the land bridge. Ideally, we can hold Smolensk. Here, yeah, you can see he's not too bothered about this terrain, which I can't blame him. I mean, he has committed troops. Sorry, the Axis has committed troops, but it looks like he's not exactly going to go headlong into this, considering this terrible terrain. Very little in the way of troops here, considering again the terrible terrain. Yeah, we do have a bit of a hole here, but this terrain's awful. Yeah, so Pskov is actually surrounded here with a number of forces as well. We do have, obviously, this river, which does make a massive difference. Novgorod, yeah, I mean, the terrain here is horrific for the Axis to fight in. Some forces behind enemy lines, not too many. Talon still in Soviet hands. How about in the far north? Right, okay, so Vyborg has been surrounded. Yeah, division surrounded here. So he's making some progress with the Finns, so it seems like he will be soon knocking on the door of Leningrad. Right, we do have reserves making their way to the front as well. See, the thing is, each time, well, each turn we buy does make us significantly more powerful. Okay, so ground losses since last turn. Right, okay. So let's take a look at this then. So in terms of losses then, yeah. They've not captured a huge amount of Soviets. 882,000, that's not a huge amount. The Axis has lost 26,400 permanent, but 70,000 disabled. Those numbers aren't amazing. Soviets 1.25. Not too terribly bad, really. How about in the air? That's not bad. 8,548. Considering that most of that is junk. Not too terribly bad. Obviously, it remains to be seen how this will translate. Yeah, I mean, this is it. My my control stops there. This is my area to look after. Trying to do my best with it. I don't envy them in the north. It's a very difficult situation. Okay, this division here. I'm going to reinforce here. Though what I'm considering is... Yeah, no, actually it wouldn't buy me anything. Right, so we just need one more. Well, then again, do I even need that? Might be better even to fortify here. If I have any additional troops, that is. I keep hoping I'll find something. Especially, they're doing well here. Very well here. Okay, I don't think we really have any men. No, there's no additional men here, so that is that, unless we can get these troops all the way down here. Way out there. Send them on the rails. Yeah. Have them move to Stalingrad. Yeah, then these forces in the Caucasus are mostly locked. Yeah, seems that's all we can do for the most part. Indeed. Yeah, it's not great, is it? Okay. I think that's all I can do here. But at least we do have a solid line with some additional forward deployment, which is nice. What's the terrain here? At rough too. I'm half tempted just to occupy that position. But, excuse me. Aye. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do here practically. I'm good with that. We don't have any additional men. I can't really spend any additional rail capacity, not administrated points. Obviously, I don't have command of air power. This will just have to do. But there we go. So thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you have enjoyed this. And of course, if you do enjoy this, do consider supporting the channel and stay tuned for the next episode. So until next time, have a fantastic evening or day, whatever you are, whatever you're doing. And goodbye for now. See you again in the future. Have a lovely evening.